1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Season 11 of Contest of Speed, Round 13. We are at the EU2 Championship today. Back in the booth with you for another week. This is BK, and hopefully joining me will be Hazmania. I'm not sure if he's here right now, but he's having some difficulties. Hopefully we'll get him in here soon. We're on to the third and final leg of the season now. Final 6 races of this 18 race long season. Tonight, EU2 will be taking a crack at the Hungaroring. In the following weeks, we will visit Abu Dhabi, Imola, Singapore, China, and Brazil for the season finale. Tonight's race is sure to be an exciting one, full of action around this 4.381 kilometer Hungaroring. With 14 turns, the twisty and bumpy nature of the circuit makes overtaking very difficult, and uh, is so very affectionately named the Monaco without the walls. So very difficult to overtake here. Which one of these EU2 drivers is going to come out on top after 35 laps? Only time will tell. As Jack King is starting out in this wet quali here, we are expecting wet conditions at the start with dry prevailing throughout the end, so faster laps will be coming towards the end. But now would be a good time with our last time racing being 2 weeks ago. I think a recap of round 12 is in order. Alfa Romeo continued their winning streak of 3, with Coast Ammo coming in from P3 to claim his second win in 3 races. The pole sitter, Ecos AJDW17, looked to be on course for a victory until a late safety car came out and shuffled up the order a little bit, which pretty much ruined his chances of getting onto the top step. Wineside rounded out the podium for the Alpine crew, but not without showing us his best example of no team orders during a scrappy fight to the line, which saw him and his teammate Ecos Hockey split by only 300ths of a second across the checkered flag. It was a difficult day for the home crowd in Monza, and the Tifosi didn't have too much to cheer about as J. Prentice and L. Prentice only found 1 point between the two of them. Now we're on to Hungary. Going to use the stream to look at the race. Oh, that's probably Haas. Shoot, that sucks, Haas. So I might be running solo tonight in the booth yet again, much to everybody's disappointment as Jack King spins out of the final turn. Let's see who else is it's gotten going here. Who else is out on track? Pipe Tech is coming around here. Jack King sits the fastest lap, mind you. It will probably be beaten. Take a moment here to look at the Drivers and Constructors Championship standings. First off with the drivers, we have Cornish Cuck at 151 for the McLaren team. Electric Blade 98 in P2. L. Prentice at 93, followed by J. Prentice at 87. Coast on Ammo at 82, Dan Rabo 73 at P6, AJ P7 with 71, Matty Rabo 68, Racer 67, and then a slight drop off in the P10 with 48 for LOI Kajoko, 41 for Charlie Cangdon, Pipe Tech with 41, Perfords 37, Jack King 35, Hockey 23, Wise Boy 17, Kelser Swag 17, and eBird 16. Pipe Tech has the fastest lap so far in the wet. We're right on board with AJ. Comes across the line. Oh, Haas, you say you can still commentate here? You just watching the stream?
Testing, testing.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello everyone, good evening or good day, wherever you are listening and watching from. Apologies for the slight technical difficulties, but I'm sure we can get this show up and running without any further distractions. How are you doing, BK? Are you having a good day?
Absolutely fantastic day so far, though it is slightly a sin that I'm inside right now. It's beautiful, plus 25 Celsius outside, but do it for the love of the EU2 boys. So glad to be here. How are you doing?
I am very good. It seems the spring weather's really made its way up there. It's nice 25 degrees. That is scorching, especially for us up north.
Yeah, we went from snow on the ground 2 weeks ago to wildfires and plus 25. So welcome to Canada.
Truly paradise on earth. As you said as you said before, BK, I did have a whole script here, but apologies for uh, not being able to talk for
Oh,
that.
yeah, my bad.
If
Go ahead.
no
I
worries.
didn't
It's
know if you're gonna join.
what's done is done. I can pick out a few points to talk about, particularly regarding Cornish Cook. He has been he was in great form at the start of the season with many wins, but his form has sort of faltered a bit in the latter half of this season. He did not attend Monza 2 weeks ago, unfortunately, and the race before in Zandvoort, he only managed a P6, which I believe started out in the dry and degraded into worse and worse weather as the race went on. As you say, the constructor standings, you do have McLaren leading the standings with 199 points. However, after a hat-trick of wins in the last 3 rounds for the Alfa Romeo team, that gap has closed to only 13 points, which means that Alfa Romeo, last time out in Monza, overtook Ferrari to take second place in the Constructors' Championship. And the standings, as they are, leave the possibility of tonight's race giving us a new championship leader in coming into the autumn stage of the season, which obviously could make for a very exciting finale.
Sure could. Only issue for tonight for Don Ammo is he's fighting one-handed. He does not have his teammate Electric Blade with him at the moment, though I did think he would be joining in quali, so hopefully he makes it. As AJ goes fastest on the inters with a 27.1. Oh, just as I say that, I've seen another Alfa Romeo pop into the pits. Electric Blade has made it, so we have a good old-fashioned. All the top three teams are here tonight with all both drivers. Good old-fashioned scrapping coming our way.
Yeah, it seems to be looking to be an exciting race for these group of drivers. I would highlight the ones to watch this race are Cornish Cook and Don Ammo. Don Ammo winning 2 out of the last 3 races, and Cornish Cook, the championship leader currently. I would probably consider them favourites for the win, at least in my humble opinion. But you may also want to keep an eye out for Ecos AJ. Is he in the lobby? He
Yes, he is. He's currently
he
fastest.
is in the lobby. There we are, with provisional pole position. He is a very quick driver indeed. And Electric Blade, who has recently popped into the pits, hopefully he will set some quick times as well. Both of them will most likely make the podium fight very interesting indeed. However, my favourites for the race still are Cornish Cook and Don Ammo. I've just realised. Oh no, he's still here. Yep, we have Don Ammo.
We have Don Ammo, the master of the tires.
Truly a master in the wet conditions as well as his race in Silverstone. Definitely, definitely supported that claim. He had a 23-second lead actually coming into the final few laps. However, he had a puncture with a lap and a half to go, and he managed to nurse his tyres. So, although it won't be raining during the race, we can at least hopefully see a glimpse of his pace in the wet.
Definitely, definitely. As you say that, only 5 cars have come out to set a lap so far. I believe the rain has stopped now, so track will begin to pick up in pace very quickly here. But I really liked your little insight there into potential candidates for podium predictions today, because that definitely helps me.
Well, they seem to be the drivers who are in form at the moment, well, excluding Cornish Cook, I suppose, but he is obviously the championship leader, and I would say the favourite to take the championship still, but you never know, we could be in for a surprise, and it could start with this race right here.
Could very well do as Electric Blade is coming out for his first lap. Get tires set out here. Not too much action in these early stages of qualifying, but expect the last 5 minutes or so to be fast and furious as everybody straps on softs and tries to get a couple runs in the last dying minutes. Is it dry yet? Says AJ. Don't think so. It's not raining. Dry line is starting to appear, but it still looks damp to me. Electric Blade is set in purple sectors though, so that's a good indication that it is getting faster out there.
Yeah, we can see the Prentice brothers in the Ferrari out on the soft tyre. Seems they're setting relatively competitive laps. And as AJ says, it may turn out to be a one-shot quali, which I wouldn't put it past them.
It may just turn out to be that way. Might be able to get somewhat of a run in before the final few minutes, but your best shot at the driest conditions, at the best conditions of the track, is going to be a one shot.
Yeah, it seems we might be in for a bit of a car park in the latter stages of this session.
Yeah.
Uh, I, oh, I appreciate that, Matty, but I seem to still be having some connection issues. I don't seem to be struggling on the stream. We'll see how it goes. But thank you very much for trying. Unfortunately, my connection does not seem to be living up to expectation.
And as we were talking there, Electric Blade did set the fastest lap on those inters. Cornish is winding up for a lap on the softs. AJ still having HDMI and screen problems. Just what you need, AJ. A little more adversity around the Hungaroring. He is really taking it slow around this outlap. But it looks like everybody's waiting until the last minute to strap on a set of softs and go at the end.
Yeah, it seems to be the smart thing to do because this track is definitely not one of the safer tracks. There are and there will be retirements in this race, I'm sure of it. And add wet conditions and slick tyres, you're not really going to have a very good time. It's just a recipe for disaster. So it makes sense for everyone to stay more or less in the pit lane until the conditions on track ease up. But for now, I think we'll just be watching Cornish Mantis start his lap.
Doesn't appear to be powering down the straight too much. He's off the throttle, so I think he's going for another prep lap here. Don Ammo has unleashed this Alfa Romeo in anger, starting his first flying lap on the softs. Gonna come flying past Cornish into turn 2. Yes, that's turn 2. Through turn 3 now, down the straight, up the hill. Tricky left-hander for turn 4. DRS is enabled now, so that's the sign that everybody needs to get ready for another lap. Honestly, if I was on ammo now, I'd be saving my battery for the next lap, and it looks like he is.
Yeah, it seems to be the smart decision. We only have 2 minutes roughly left in qualifying. That does give him the chance to maybe, just maybe, sneak into the pits and get out another lap, but it would be very tight indeed.
This is going to be a fast and furious ending to qualifying, and I'm going to have to do my best to try to catch everybody coming across the line. Let's see. Oh, of course, that thing's not working. AJ's on a slow lap. Blade's on a slow lap. McLaren's on a slow lap. So of course Don Ammo set the fastest lap there with his slow lap. I believe this is going to be his only attempt now at a fast lap. What about Racer? Is he on a, no, Racer's on a slow lap. Cornish appears to be starting a fast lap. So everybody's out now. Going for their fast lap. Believe Don Ammo will be the first to set a lap here.
As he just passes through Roland Curve and into the chicane, all looks very smooth.
Cornish Cox sits at 119.1. Believe he's got more in the tank there though. Now through the fast S's. Tires overheating now. To the last two corners of the track. El Prentice goes fastest to the 117. Don Ammo's coming to the line now. So 117.8, just ahead of El Prentice. Electric Blade coming to the line to start his lap now.
Seems Electric Blade has timed that perfectly. I think he's going to get the rub of the green for this final few seconds of qualifying. Although we may have to deal with some traffic ahead of him, who I believe is Racer. If he is also on a flyer, that could be very irritating for him.
Mantis goes fastest with a 17.4. AJ's going to be the next to cross the line. $16.7 for him. We have Pipe Tech next. He goes third fastest to the 17.8. Cornish Cock coming to the line. Stays at the 19.1. Next across is El Prentice goes second fastest, and next will be J-Ray. He jumps ahead of J Prentice into P2 for him. El Prentice now coming across the line with two Williams behind him. 17.5 for P5 for him. Matty Robbo goes P3 and then Dan Robbo P5. Everybody's coming across the line quickly now. Now Don Ammo P6. An Electric Blade, the last one across the line. He goes P6.
My, what a
At the
shake-up
last
in
second
qualifying
too.
that was.
Ecos Hockey with a 16.4. Last man on the track is
What,
Jack King, and he's spun out, and that is going to be it.
what a shake-up that was.
That was impossible to keep up with. There were so many cars coming across.
I wonder, would you have predicted that top 5 at the start of the session?
I don't think so. I mean, Cornish must have had a mistake on his last flyer. It's a 19.1. It's weird to see him all the way down there. It's a very surprising top 5 for sure, with Ecos Hockey setting a 16.474 for pole position. What a lap to set it right at the end.
What a lap indeed. It seems, waiting for that last moment in qualifying really paid off for a lot of drivers there. Unfortunately, that does mean that some of the drivers who we'd expect to be at the front of the pack, like Don Ammo and, well, Cornish Mantis to an extent, and Cornish Cook as well, are now 9th, 10th and 13th respectively.
Exactly, yeah, it should make for an exciting race with some people with pace Starting towards the back with that, we have Ecos Hockey starting P1, Ecos AJDW17 P2, J-Ray P3, Racer P4, Matty Robbo P5, J Prentice P6, Electric Blade P7, Dan Robbo P8, Coast on Ammo P9, Cornish Mantis P10, L Prentice P11, CLR Pipe Tech P12, Cornish Cuck P13, and Jack King P14. Interesting quality. Yes, it was, Hilly. Any predictions? Very welcome in the chat today. Thank you all for joining us on round 13 in Hungary for EU2. Fortunately, we can't pay out any money for successful predictions, but bragging rights go a long way here. So
Indeed, we can't pay out, but we can give you a pat on the back, a virtual pat on the back, and say a good job, well done.
exactly.
Speaking of predictions, BK, what are yours for this race?
Oh man. Well, I'm not gonna be the one to commit the cardinal sin.
I suppose we should wait until the driver lineup is on the screen.
Oh yeah,
Appear to have jumped the gun a bit.
be a bit easier then.
Unless you have an incredible memory, which I'm sure you do.
You think too highly of me. Yeah, I forgot already. Okay. Um, let's look at this grid. I think I'm gonna go with ooh, man, this is tough. It's so hard to overtake here, but it is also very easy to make mistakes here. So I wouldn't say anybody in the top five is safe, but I think hockey will stay P1. So I'll go hockey P1. I'll go. Mm, I'll go J-Ray P2 and then Electric Blade P3. So hockey, J-Ray Blade for me. Hilly says AJ Maddie in hockey. He's committed the
Those
cardinal
seem
sin.
like they seem like reasonable predictions. I personally think Hawkey will just sail away with this in this race. I think he will take the win. No questions asked. Of course, that is up to the curse, the great F1 gods, to decide whether or not that will be the case. But I think we will see a Hawkey win. I think in P2 we will see Jay Prentice, who is the the first driver out on the medium tyres. Oh, as I say that, fantastic. Really testing my predictions here. But yeah, Jay Prentice P2, and I think I will see Cornish Mantis in P3. That
Hockey,
is my prediction.
hockey giving it a little pirouette out of the second to last turn to really fire up those rear tires. Everybody's doing donuts at the line. Yeah, good to point out the top five are all on hards. Jay Prentice and Electric Blade on mediums. P6 and 7, Dan Robbo on the hards. Then P9 all the way back to P13 is mediums. And we have a horrible camera angle. We have 5 red lights. Oh my goodness, Cornish Cuck with a drive-through penalty off the start, and we're away. Hockey gets away decent, but so does Racer and J-Ray, who's up the outside already into turn 1. Racer takes a look up the inside. We're going 3 wide into turn 1, and they go straight on. That gives all the opportunity to AJ, who's jumped all 3 of them through turn 1. What a patient and fortuitous move for AJ there as the top 3 all try to race into the first corner. And we got a McLaren that's gone off. That's J-Ray. Oh no, my prediction is in shambles. J-Ray's gone off at turn 3 while AJ leads them into the chicane now. So it's AJ from Dan from Racer. What happened to our top 3 there? Hockey's dropped back, Racer's dropped back, and Electric Blade has made up 3 positions already. Cornus Cuck left the session. Wonder if it's some connection issues there. Dan Robbo made up a few places too at the start. Let's flip that on here. Position changes. So Dan Robbo up 6 places already from the start. And contrarily is Williams' teammate Matty Robbo down 6 places, as well as J-Ray down 10 places. So AJ leads on this first lap here. While Dan Robbo's under pressure from Racer. Hockey's looking up the inside of Electric Blade here. Electric Blade holds it off. And Hockey's now going to be under pressure from El Prentice behind, who has to give way through turn 3, but is going to have the run down to turn 4. But not enough. What do you think of that start, Has? Pretty scrappy off the start for these guys as Hockey spins out of the turn 5, I believe. That's not what you want to see. Sorry, Haas. What did you think of the start?
Well, I don't think anyone was expecting that start. It's very hard to commentate when you're a few seconds behind, but it is nice to know the outcome of certain things before you watch them, though it does make it darn confusing sometimes. But no, that start was, well, textbook for a certain someone, but I would say just unfortunate for Ecos Hawkey then, caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, seemed to just be forced wide as I'm not quite sure who was side by side with him, but he was just forced wide, and that just opened the door for AJ and Dan Robbo to just take first and second in this race. And it seems that unless anything major happens, they are just going to run away with it. Oh, and I have just seen a big crash.
Yeah, Jack King and Ecos Hockey, and I think Matty Robbo got it tangled up there into turn 1. We've got more cars battling it out through the front of the field here. Thank you for following, Rise Dragon. Hello. How are you doing today? Welcome to the EU2 Championship. We're here at Hungaroring, just started. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, it seems what a race to start watching, I suppose.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Hockey was in an unfortunate position off the start there. Just cars, J-Ray had a great start off to his left-hand side, and then Racer saw an opportunity up the inside, and all of a sudden, all 3 cars just did not make the corner. It's true. What does Stream Elements say? Tonight our commentary team is the amazing duo of Hasmanian and BK. Did you hack Stream Elements, Haas? Oh.
No, I don't get paid enough to be able to do that. It's well above my pay grade, but thank you very much, Robot. We appreciate that.
I think that's Ricky. Shout out to Ricky. Oh no, Racer out of turn 4. Oh, he's under pressure from the Alpha there, or the Ferrari, and just lost it. He's back on track now, though. So it appears that AJ is starting to pull away from this pack a little bit, and Dan Robbo behind is the head of the snake, as they say. With what is that? 4 cars all behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
Yeah, you just get the feeling that perhaps if El Prentice can't quite keep up with Electric Blade, it's going to be very hard for anyone behind them to pass, and I think that's going to start a very long DRS train due to the Prentices and their infamous setups, the rocket setups, as some would say.
Not sure how they do that. This is a track that really, for me, an Electric Blade is fighting Dan Robbo into turn one. I was looking at the stream, but Dan Robbo got the place back. This is a track where I personally need to pile on a ton of downforce to be able to do anything on it, and I still struggle with traction on lots of the corners. But good for them, man. They've got a formula and they stick with it, and it works for them. Also part of, I think, is it Jay Prentice who's part of the Stewart team? Is Pipe Tech is retired from the session on track, and is going to bring out at least a VSC, and it's our first safety car.
It does
Pipe.
seem to be yeah, it's a full safety car. I was just about to say as well, this race might develop into a bit of a procession, almost a conga line. But unfortunately, for our race leader, that is not what you want to see. And it just begs the question, is anyone going to be brave with the strategy, try and brave it for 30 laps on the hard tyres? Will we see anyone pit? Will we not?
Nope, not so far, except for El Prentice is jumping in the pits. So is Jay Prentice, so Ferrari going for a double stack here. Cornish is in the pits. Matty stays out, Hockey stays out. Racer's in the pits, and so is J-Ray. So a few jumping in now. Let's get the tires showing here. Some thrown on the mediums, some thrown on the hards. Beautiful. Well, that's good for J-Ray. He'll get an opportunity to get back in this race here because he was looking strong in quali and had a great jump off the line. Had an opportunity to take first, but it's very difficult to go three wide through turn one here. So unfortunately lost out there, but now has another opportunity to get back.
Cornish Cook has not pitted. That's quite strange. It doesn't seem, well, he can't lose any positions for pitting. It just seems a bit strange that he hasn't decided to go on new mediums or perhaps hards. It seems he wants to catch up to the rest of the field before making any decisions. We may see him in the pits this lap.
Maybe you get one lap fresher tires to the end, maybe. The first person on the grid to have pitted will be El Prentice in P8. Everyone ahead of him electing to stay out. What will Cornish do? He stays out too. So he's obviously thinking maybe there'll be another safety car here. I just need to get back into the rhythm here. He'd rather be on the mediums at this point in time.
Yeah, that is correct. It does take at least a little while for those mediums to wear off. It gives you a good few extra laps of tyre advantage. And I feel like that's what everyone, El Prentice and below, is looking to do.
Again at the position changes quickly here while we have a safety car. Biggest winners being Jack King making up 7 places from the back of the field, and Dan Robbo up 6 in the P2. All in the top 4 have made up places, as well as Electric Blade for 4 positions, Don Ammo 5 positions. Biggest losers, Hockey losing out 5 positions from pole, and J-Ray and Racer losing out 8 positions from, I believe that was 3rd and 4th, no? So, lots of shakeups already in this race. People with a little more pace also sitting a little further back than they would like to be. We're set for some action. Safety cars in this lap. AJ's going to lead the field away from lap 8. What can we expect here, Haas? A little more chaos like we saw at the start, or Are these guys gonna play nice?
Oh, I don't think I should be talking about what's going on with a Red Bull at the front. Let's keep quiet and we'll see a good result.
We are
Uh,
spectators here.
we are spectators, we are impartial, but we may cheer more loudly for some overtakes than others.
AJ. Oh, we have a Alpine in the wall, or is that a Williams? Matty Robbo out of the last corner. Spun it into the wall, but he is back and moving again. AJ away from Dan Robbo, away from Electric Blade, as you were so far. A little bit of argy-bargy happening in the back there. As Hockey's looking up the inside of Jack King through turn 2. He's gonna hold it off through turn 3. And I just seen behind the McLaren getting tangled with the Ferrari, and he goes into the wall. That's J-Ray, I believe. Or is that Cornish? No, that was Cornish getting into the wall there out of turn 3. J-Ray's holding off El Prentice here through the chicane.
Cornish Cook is up 3.
Oh, something happened to Haas there. His voice chat had stopped working, oh no. As we come around for lap 9 here. Mike died 1 minute. Alright, Haas, take your time. We're all good. Cornish Mantis jumps in the pits. I wouldn't be surprised if Cornish Cuck is also jumping into the pits. Matty Robbo is also in the pits with El
Quick
Prentice.
test here, BK.
Oh yeah, I got you back now.
A firm. Cornish Cook, P10. I feel like that should be the headline thus far. He had such a good restart as well.
I didn't see. I saw from the rear wing of the car I was on board on. He was going through the turn 3 side by side with another car and just did not end well.
Yeah, it seemed the drivers at the back of the pack seemed to capitalise on mistakes from those more or less
Oh!
in the midfield.
Electric Blade misses braking point into the back of Dan Robbo. Eco's Hockey gets in front of him now. Sorry, Haas, I just saw that on as you were talking there.
No worries. I can't see what's going on, so please feel free to interrupt when you need to. That was a dangerous move there.
It just
If it
looked
was a
like he
move, I
missed
should
his
say.
braking point. Hit the back of Dan Robbo, which cost him 1 position, but luckily he's still driving along here. Hopefully his car is all okay. It's unfortunate for Electric Blade, who has been on his game for the last few races. Just a small mistake there. But yeah, I agree. Like you were saying earlier, Cornish is P10. That's kind of the headline at the moment. The championship leader, as I think Don Amos dropped it out of turn 5. He's got back going again. His teammate gets in front of him now.
He just lost out a Roland curve. That curb on the inside of, I believe it's turn 5 Roland curve. It is very lethal indeed. You have to be very careful with these stiff cars.
Extremely lethal, yes. Yeah. As are most of these curbs here.
Seems to be a testament of this game. You either adapt or you spin every lap.
Yep. But F1 23 previews have been coming out as J-Ray looks to the inside of Jack King with the DRS. They're going to be fighting it down to turn 2 now. Jack King with the inside for this turn. J-Ray will have the inside for the next. Turn 3. things went horribly wrong for McLaren a few laps ago with the Haas, but all okay this time.
Nice fair racing from J Ray and Jack King there.
Absolutely. There's racers all over the back of Dan Robbo now, who's had to let Hockey kind of go. He's lost touch with him a little bit, and Hockey's now closing the gap on AJ. I'm sure he was a little more comfortable with Dan Robbo holding the pack up, but now that Hockey's gotten ahead, the man who was on pole position, I believe, he's definitely got the pace to put some pressure on AJ. Oh no, his racer misses his braking point and it goes in the back of Dan Robbo and spins him out there, and that's unlucky. I think that's the same corner.
Wow, what are the odds? Twice in, what is that, 3 laps?
Twice in a couple laps for the same driver. It's unfortunate.
At that sort of rate, I don't think we can put a second safety car past them.
Nope, not yet. Racer goes defensive into turn one. J-Ray looking for the switchback. He's going to be on the outside into turn two. Racer holds him off. J-Ray tucks in behind for turn three, but gets off the track all out of shape. Jack King is now on the back of him. This battle for P3 seems to be the one to watch at the moment. Hockey's hovering around 1.1 seconds behind AJ. He needs to find a couple more tenths to break the DRS.
You just think all this fighting for the last podium place is just going to make Eco's Hockey and Eco's AJ's race better and better with each lap. They have just sent it and left. They're gone. Unless, of course, the safety car, but Mylander in the lovely Mercedes safety car comes out again.
Yep. Much like many drivers in this league, I'm sure the safety car gives them traumatic memories, just like it does to me as Don Ammo picks up a 3-second time penalty. I'm sure AJ is still cursing the safety car that came out in round 12 in Monza when he was comfortably in the lead, but unfortunately a late safety car bunched the pack back up. He made a pit stop and lost track position and could only make his way back up to second before the end of the race.
Yeah, it seems that AJ hasn't had much good luck with safety cars. He also had one in Zandvoort, in which I believe he took the lead on lap one, but unfortunately the safety car came out in the middle of the race, and with conditions worsening, he crashed into the pit wall at a nice 45-degree angle. I think he may have lost the rear end, and he DNF'd in his home race.
Hoping for better luck this week for AJ. He's been in control since turn one. We are getting close now. Probably, what do you think? 5 or so laps away from the pit window for both the medium runners on 8 laps and the hard runners on 13 laps at this point.
I feel like if you've pitted onto the mediums so early in the race, I wouldn't put it past them to. Ooh, I've just seen that with a slight delay.
A little tight on
But I
that
feel.
same turn, hey? Turn
I
12.
told you we haven't seen the last of it.
As Prentice is
Oh,
now
we
gonna.
have a yellow. I think that's Cornish Cook who just spun.
Yep.
He's now going to lose 2 positions by the looks of it, but maybe even 3 later on in the lap. But as I was saying before, if you pitted so early for medium tyres, you just think, are you going to try and pit onto the hards, or are you going to try and extend that medium stint and maybe go for a soft, or even another medium, I suppose, if you started on the hard tyre?
It's all up to the strategists to decide what's the best play now. This racer's still holding on to this P3 position that he may have found himself in through questionable circumstances, but we will see you in the steward's room for that, I'm sure. Not sure if Deathstorm's in the chat watching this. He hasn't said hi yet, but he usually is super happy when he hears that we're going in the stewards room after races. Al Prentice and Don Ammo are fighting it out of turn one into turn two, side by side. Don Ammo has the edge. Oh no, sorry, that's not turn two. That's turn 14. We're going through now, and Al Prentice has lost it through turn 14 actually. Cornish jumps into the pits. Don Ammo has gone through. So Cornish on 14 lap old mediums calls it quits. That's about 4 laps away for the likes of J Ray and Racer in P3 and P4. Who J Ray has gotten back ahead of Racer now. Must have missed that. So J Ray coming from, what was he, P3 off the start, and then
I
fell
think
back at the
yeah, he
start.
started quite high up, and now he's made his way back up to P3,
Yeah,
which is rather impressive and good for him. One other noteworthy thing, Cornish Cook is in net last, I believe, but he is on very new hard tyres, so we'll be taking those to the end of the races. There's a yellow flag in Roland Curve. I think that is either L Prentice or J Prentice, one of the two.
I believe it was Al Prentice, and I think Racer has made a little bit of a mistake here because J Ray has now put in a 1.6 second gap to him. And Jack King is only a second behind Racer now. Jamie James has entered the chat. He says AJ is winning. There's still time. None of us, both of us are trying to, yeah, do our best to not to commit the cardinal sin for AJ tonight. He's had enough bad luck. But speaking of bad luck, just now breaking that 1 second threshold for the first time, Ecos Hockey is having a little sniff at DRS here as we have a Williams, I believe, out at turn 11. He's gotten back going now. Dan Robbo, who was running P3, unfortunately lost out there. Back down to P6 for now.
Meanwhile, Ecos Hockey and AJ are battling it out. We have a Ferrari sandwich, or McLaren sandwich, I should say. And it seems that, well, they may not be battling for points. It's certainly going to be an entertaining battle nonetheless. And we'll see how this pans out.
Ecos Hockey, man in P2, picks up a 3 second time penalty, and I'm sure that'll be a great relief for AJ as Cornish looks up the inside of Jay Prentice, who's going to fight him off. That was quite the move and quite the defense from Jay Prentice to keep his position. Cornish is not ready to let this one go now. He's going to have the DRS down the straight, and Racer picks up a time penalty. He's all over the back of this Ferrari now, going around the outside. And that straight line speed of the Ferrari, the infamous straight line speed, while Cornish is trying to take something of it now on the inside. And he's got it done through turn 2 into turn 3. What a move. People are really struggling today, says Hilly. Yes. It's definitely a little more spread out than we're used to, and I think Al Prentice just lost it out of turn 5. Meanwhile, Ecos
He
Hockey
has
now.
indeed. Al Prentice in last on those old soft tyres. He's going to be looking to pit, I would assume, to go maybe onto the mediums to finish the race on. But I don't think that is going to make any difference unless the safety car does come out again. As I say that, Ferrari in the wall again at Roland's Curve.
And Ecos Hockey now only 6 tenths behind AJ. He's been managing his ERS slightly better. will not have the benefit of DRS down the two straight as Ferrari again out in sector 2 for a yellow. He's gotten moving again. Just a dreadful last couple races for the Ferrari. They had their struggles in Monza for sure, much to the avail of the Tifosi. And yet again this week, not having the best of races.
Jamie James just put in the chat, hello from Miami. Hello, Jamie. You'll see me in EU2 on the grid next week. Well, I look forward to seeing that. What is next week's race? Let me just check the calendar.
We're at Abu Dhabi next week. Next week, Yas Marina.
Ah, well, that always. It's certainly a track. I think. I think that's what I'll say about that track.
It's a racetrack, yep.
It's a racetrack with DRS zones.
Nothing controversial has ever happened there either.
No, no, of course not. It's a perfectly normal racetrack that doesn't need changing because it is the pinnacle of motorsport.
Yep. Well, we look forward to your return, Mr. Jamie James, next week. Be our first, well, my first time commentating for you, so looking forward to it. Let me jump back into this battle for P1 now. These guys stretching out those hard tires as long as they can.
I'll tell you what, I've just seen on the timing sheet we have Electric Blade, who is on new hard tyres, and the gap between the leader at the moment, Ecos AJ, and Electric Blade seems to be around, what would you say, 25-ish seconds?
There, I can definitely pull that up. Gap to leader. 29 seconds to Blade.
29. It seems Electric Blade would be in contention for perhaps a podium if things, if J-Ray's race and Racer's race, well, that's a mouthful. If their races do not go as planned, it seems that Electric Blade could be in contention for a podium.
Definitely, yeah. I think I had, what did I have for my predictions? Hockey, J-Ray, and Electric Blade?
Well, I don't think all hope is lost just yet.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I think 3 out of 3 on the podium would be a fantastic result. Let's not curse it.
Usually, if I can get one, I'm pretty happy. It doesn't matter if they're in the right spot.
I see. I can't. Where did I put my predictions?
Uh,
Hawkeye, J Prentice, and Mantis. Oh, good lord, what have I done? I might get one of them. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's just pray the race goes nice and clean.
Still 15 laps to go.
15 laps to go, and it seems AJ and Hawkeye are due to battle it out for this track position as we come into the pit window. For those hard tyres, they're going to be looking to go on the fresh mediums. And it just seems now might be the decisive lap if AJ wants to try and undercut Ecos Hawkeye, or if Ecos Hawkeye wants to try and undercut AJ. We will see.
And as you say that, Hockey has decided to blink first. He jumps into the pits on 20 lap old hards. It's unleashed AJ. So does J Ray. He's in the pits. What of Racer? He decides to stay out. So does Jack King. So where is Hockey gonna come out then? This will be important for AJ. Comes out ahead of Dan Robbo, so that is good window to pit in for them. He will have some clean air ahead of the Jack King, who's on the 21 lap old hards.
Yeah, you just think that Nikos Hawkey might have a little bit of an advantage when AJ does decide to pit. He's going to be on, well, not fresher tyres, but certainly hotter tyres, which are in the operating window. They're going to give him a whole lot more grip. And if he can stay within that DRS zone, that DRS detection point, I don't think he'll have any trouble passing AJ. But remains to be seen. AJ will be sending it this lap because I assume he'll be coming into the pits.
He has jumped in the pits, and I just saw on his timing he was up on his fastest lap by a tenth. So he is pushing, trying to keep that position. Let's see now, jump on board with Hockey, who is rounding through turn 13 now, the penultimate corner through turn
Nikos
14.
Hawkey with the fastest sector 2 there. He is really pushing it.
He's got the battery going down the straight, fastest sector 3, and
Is he
AJ
going to get
comes
out
on
in front?
just in front.
Oh, seems very close. Very close indeed.
6 tenths the gap now. Mind you, Hockey does have that 3 second penalty, which may come back to haunt him at the end of this race. And Hockey's all over the back of AJ now with those fresh, hot, medium tires. And he's going to be looking up the inside into the chicane. AJ might just have to yield here. No, he doesn't. He tries to hold him off. Hockey onto the grass, and AJ's through. He has got those elbows out there.
Indeed, that was very feisty from AJ there, but that does bring J Ray into the mix as well. J Ray is on for a P3 finish here by the looks of it.
Well,
He
if he
just,
stays clean with no penalties, he might even be on for P2.
we may see that happen, we may. He just needs to stay behind Nikos Hawkey because he does have that penalty. And, well, we'll see.
The top 3 now separated by just over a second, while the rest of the field is slightly spread out now. But we have a battle for the lead. Just enough space, fair but hard, says Jamie James. I think that was fair. Uh, I'm not sure I would have fought that hard through the chicane, but that was very well done to keep it clean and to keep his position. That was very well executed. AJ wants it. You can see it in how he's driving. He was not ready just to let somebody have the run on him into that chicane. He was fighting that off all day. So we have a yellow in sector 2. I believe that's Racer. Or sector 3, he's gotten going again. The top 3 away now. J-Ray slightly losing touch with the top 3 now that their tires are, or top 2 now that their tires are warm. But he's fighting to stay in that DRS range. As you said earlier, Electric Blade now 8 seconds back of P3, and we have another McLaren out in sector 3. Cornish Cuck having some more issues.
Oh no, championship leader not having a good race at all, and it looks like that championship lead will be coming down ever so slightly.
The good news for
Alf-
him, the next closest driver in the driver standings, Electric Blade, is P4. So it's not like he's losing a whole fair chunk of, like a 25-point chunk from him, but still enough to hurt. And he also picks up a 5 second penalty into the pits.
This is not what you want to see from the McLaren team. But it seems Alfa Romeo is on for a very strong finish here, fourth and fifth. That is good points, and that eats into their lead. In fact, I think that might overtake McLaren, and I think Alfa might be the new leaders if race results go their way.
If J-Ray can jump into P2, that will certainly stop the bleeding for the McLaren team. As Cornish Mantis and Jack King are battling it out through turn one, because that'll be 18 points for McLaren finishing P2, and what is it for 4 and 5? Like 12 and
And
10?
just
So 20. So they'll gain
fourth
4
and
points.
fifth are 12 and 10. So that's 22 points for Alfa Romeo, and that is 15 points for McLaren. So that will take 7 points off their lead, which takes their lead down to 6 points as things stand. Oh no, 18 points, sorry, because J-Ray hopefully will finish P2. So that seems to be a 9-point gap as things stand between first and second place.
Definitely going to come down to the wire. As are, honestly, I feel like lots of the tiers are very close in the championship. Just speaking for my tier, I mean, my constructor, me and my teammate, we have it pretty much locked down. But now we're only 13 points apart with 5 races to go, and the constructors in this tier is very close with only a few races to go, and drivers will be closing down a bit. So there's a lot of close
Well,
gaps in all the tiers.
I was going to say I'm glad you cleared that up because my tier, my home tier, which I am nowhere near quick enough to compete in, is at nowhere near a close battle. We have NSX Vaporizer, who's leading the EU1 Championship with a solid 103-point lead.
Oh,
So it seems to be close for some, and particularly with the EU1 tier with some. Well, I think we'll call them aliens because I don't believe they are human. They must have sold their soul or done some unholy deeds to become as quick as they are. Yes, NSX Vaporizer, very quick in the EU1 tier.
no kidding. Just look through the ERS of the top 3 here. Looks like J-Ray is sitting at the best position in terms of ERS left. Both AJ and Hockey sitting around 10%, while J-Ray is around 30. And we've got the Alfa Romeos pretty close together now. I've left the gap on the leader. And J-Ray now picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Ah, so that sets both the P2 and P3 sitters Hockey and J-Ray even for penalties. Meanwhile, AJ has no penalties. He's got a little bit of breathing room now. Let's go show the penalties here. Everybody on the board with penalties sitting at 3 seconds.
Yeah, it appears to be a head in your hand sort of moment for J-Ray there. I suppose the nerves just may have got to him a little bit. He's definitely I have a fight in his hand at second place now. Exciting conclusion.
Absolutely. Now we now have Bravo also all over the back of Racer. And we know these two have met earlier in this race. I'm sure Dan Rabo would love to get past him now. He's going to have to wait going into turn 2. Hopefully get the exit. Ahead of him, Don Ammo has spun out. Dan Rabo is not close enough going into turn 2. Gains a position off the spinning Don Ammo there. Now up into P7. As long as he stays behind Racer here within the 3 seconds, he will pick up that position too. Everybody has made a stop so far. Six laps to go here. And the top three still separated by 1 second. J-Ray now starting to close that gap on Hockey. Put on a little more pressure. Appears that J-Ray still hanging on to as much battery as he can.
Oh, we have a yellow. Who's that?
I think it was Cornish. I missed it.
It seems to be a tale of two sides for the Cornish cousins. One in P5 who started last, I believe, or 11th, and Cornish Cook who also started fairly far down the grid. Oh, apologies. Cornish Mantis started P9, I believe, and Cornish Cook starting a little bit further back, but it hasn't been his race today, and unless something magical happens, I don't think he's going to get back into this.
Oh, it's unfortunate, but luckily for him, he does have that 53-point lead over Electric Blade in P4. And Cornish Cuck picks up another 5-second penalty, speeding in the pit lane, and retires in the pits. That's the end of his afternoon or evening. Unfortunate for him, but hopefully Abu Dhabi suits him a little more, and he'll be back ready for next week. Meanwhile, we still have these three fighting it out for first and second. Dan Robbo is still keeping Racing her company. Sorry, Haz?
Meanwhile, those battles are happening. We can see Don Ammo just got past Jack King there. Jack King's just holding on to the last point position. He's going to be challenged by Jay Prentice, who desperately wants that final point for Ferrari, which it looks like he's going to get because Matty Robbo's just gone in the pit lane.
Jack King went very wide out of turn one. Jay Prentice got through there, it looks like. He's ahead of Jack King. Eco's Hockey has now lost the back of AJ just a little bit. He's completely out of battery now. J-Ray's started to use his, still sitting at 16%. But now that Hockey doesn't have the benefit of DRS ahead of him, he might be in a little bit of trouble here.
It seems AJ just needs to keep his head cool, keep his hands unsweaty, I suppose. It's always an issue when you're racing on wheel. Your chair does become a bit of a sweat pit towards the end of
Especially
the
here.
race.
Especially here.
Oh yeah, it's a real workout on the hands. This track. It's very taxing. Don
No kidding.
Ammo just setting the fastest lap of the race so far. He will get an extra World Championship point for that, as he is in the top 10.
Yeah, on Monday for our race, by the end of it, I said I needed to take a shower, man. I was completely drenched in sweat, just trying to keep my teammate behind me, to be honest. But and Racer picks up a 3-second time penalty. I believe he's at 6 now. Hockey does not have the benefit of DRS this time around. So Racer's up to 6 seconds now. 3 laps to go.
Seems Matty Robbo in P11 is just eating away at Jack King's lead, and I think he's looking to pass him and set the fastest lap of the race, which, if he's successful, would give him 2 points, which I suppose is not the worst outcome you could hope for, but I'm sure it's a lot less than what he wanted from this race.
Absolutely, yeah. He is chomping at the bits on those soft tires to get around. Jack King is not letting this one go. He wants that last point. But Matty Robbo has the run out of turn one. He's gonna get that position and hopefully look for that fastest lap point. And actually, Jack King has lost it out of turn two. So that is going to be the last championship point for Matty Robbo there, as long as he can keep it on the track. AJ leads Hockey, leads J Ray. Electric Blade a little further back.
Yeah, Electric Blade on 18 lap hards. Those tyres will be screaming at him. And ooh, Cornish Mantis as well. He's on 25 lap old hard tyres. I think he will be in puncture territory, if not already. So I think he's going to be begging those tyres to hang on. And just saying that as well, Dan Robbo is closing up on Cornish Mantis. He's really looking to pass him here.
Take a quick gander on board, see if I can see any punctures. Can definitely see some dark streaks on those tires. They're not happy, but nothing, no punctures yet. No sign of any punctures yet. Meanwhile, Hockey is pulled back into that DRS range of AJ, somewhat bailing him out down this straight from J Ray. The last lap here of the Hungarian Grand Prix for the EU2 Championship. Looks like AJ is in a great position here just to manage. He's got penalties behind him. But what of these Alpine and McLaren? Can they make anything happen in these last lap? Specifically J-Ray to unsettle Hockey from his P2 position where he's been sitting in since the pit stops.
Just entering Sector 3 now. If this is your last chance to make a move, are we going to see anyone send it?
Doesn't look like it. J-Ray is holding station. Hockey's a little bit closer to AJ than J-Ray is to Hockey. But finally, Haas, you want to take him across the line?
I think I will. Ecos, AJ, all clean throughout the final corner. From Dutch despair in the last few races to Dutch delight, he wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. Ecos Hawkey in P2. J-Ray takes home the final podium position, and it's a little bit of a gap to Electric Blade. I'll let you continue, BK.
Yeah, Electric Blade P4, Dan Robbo coming around the final turn. A race full of adversity for him, finishes P5. Good result there. Cornish Mantis, those 27 lap old hards holding on to the end for P6. Racer P7, Don Ammo. Rounding out a decent day for the Alfa Romeo, who look to make a bit more of a chunk in the McLaren lead in the championship, but will have to settle for a little bit less today. Jay Prentice P9 and Matty Robbo in P10, finishing out the final points, and I believe the fastest lap. Um, nope, did not get to see that in time. But AJ wins it. That is the headline for sure.
I hope you didn't hear me punch the air a little bit there. Gotta contain my excitement a little bit. Good job, AJ. Good job, AJ. Hopefully we can bring the podium sitters into the commentary box and perhaps give them some interviews, because I definitely would like to ask some questions about that race.
There he is, doing his dance to the top step of the podium. Congratulations, AJ. You know, they say every blind squirrel finds his acorn, and I think AJ is just that blind squirrel today, so congratulations to him. And on top of that, I completely forgot podium predictions. I got 2 out of 3. I had hockey and J Ray on there. Not in the right order, I don't think, but still had them on there. That's a win.
I think you still get some plaudits for Electric Blade being so close up to the
Yeah, he
up to the
was.
top end of the field.
That is
It
true.
seems he had a fantastic race as well.
P4 for Electric Blade. Yeah, honorable mention from P7.
If you don't mind, BK, inviting the podium sitters, as I have not got the connection available to do that.
I can definitely do that. Yeah. Let's just go over the finishing grid one last time. AJ taking a win today, starting from P2, finishes P1. Congratulations again. Ecos Hockey P2 from P1. Good for him to come back after the incident in lap 1, turn 1, and as well as J Ray for finishing out the podium. Electric Blade P4, Dan Rubble P5, Cornish Mantis P6, Razor P7, Don Ammo P8, Jay Prentice P9, Matty Rubble P10, Jack King P11, Cornish Cuck P12, the start of our non-finishers. El Prentice also didn't finish P13, and Pipe Tech P14. I will start to invite our top 3 here. J Ray. Oh no. Oh, we got one. There we go. I just can't find AJ. One more. There we go. I think we got all 3 invited now. Let me get back to the showroom here. Perfect. We got all 3 in. Let's go.
At last, we can have the Red Bull on the car showroom.
Let's go. You can't talk to Haz? Uh,
Uh, I I may be able to hear him on stream, so this may be a bit of a one-sided interview.
I can't hear him.
they're all saying they can't hear you, Haz.
It's showing us 2 members in the party, so I'll tell you what, you start interviewing who you want to, and if my connection does not improve, I suppose I will do a nice self-interview using the stream to hear myself talk and also AJ talk. So, as you were.
Okay, yeah, I can repeat any questions you have for AJ Haas. Yeah, these guys are just laughing at me because they can't hear you. But anyways, we'll get started with the interviews here. Might as well start. We'll start with P3. I know Haas will have some questions for our P1 finisher, so let's start with J Ray. J Ray, looked like a eventful race there for you. Had a decent jump on turn 1. Looked like you're gonna take the lead and all of a sudden we were 3 wide. Could you talk us a little bit through your start of your race? Yeah, all of a sudden after that the pit stops, you were right on the back of the top two, and it looked like for a while you were gonna snag that final the second podium position until the third warning came in for the 3 second penalty there. Had our head in our hands both in the booth, but yeah, what were you thinking in the last few laps when you only had about 30% ERS ahead of you there or less? Do you think you could get something done at the end, or you're just waiting for something to happen, hopefully? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, yeah, good race for you, and especially with a championship leader Cornish, he was not in the race too much for the McLaren team. Good for you to get some points for your team there. So congratulations on the P3 to you, and we'll good for you for bailing him out. We'll move on to the the next interview here for P2 finisher, Mr. Ecos Hockey, and you were also involved in that little turn one argy bargy there. Yeah, how was it for you in going out of turn one off the line? Don't want to point fingers, but then pulls out the biggest foam finger I've ever seen in my life. No worries there. Anything else about the rest of your race? I mean, you were under tons of pressure at the end. You had the 3 seconds of penalties, so we were just hoping behind it to get a penalty and stick with AJ ahead. Yeah, yeah, it is a very difficult track to overtake, but good job to you for both you and J Ray to come back after that lap one incident. And honestly, both of you are on my podium predictions, so thank you for fulfilling that for me. I appreciate that. And yeah, no problem. Now we'll move on to our P1 finisher, uh, AJ. I said at the end there, every blind squirrel finds his acorn, and today you are the blind squirrel. Congratulations, you got a win. How does it feel?
Feels good. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah. Normally I'd let Haas take over the interview uh, for this section, so I'll do that this time again. I believe he sent you the questions he's about to ask, and
Mm-hmm.
he'll say it on the stream so everybody else can hear it.
Yeah, so hopefully AJ doesn't start answering his question prematurely, but I'll ask it on stream anyway. So AJ, even though you can't hear me, after you took the lead on lap one, did you feel like you had the race under control, or were you concerned about Ecos Hawkey perhaps overtaking you at some point during the race? And at any point, did you feel like you needed to cover off Hawkey to keep the win,
Is
or
he
were you
done
just
yet?
okay for the whole part?
Okay, he just finished. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Well, I felt like I had the race under control, but as soon as hockey started catching up, I got a little bit But as soon as he got the penalty, um, yeah, I felt relieved because I knew I would be able to keep up with him if he would pass me. But we all know Hungary is not the best track to overtake, so that was up on my side as well. So I think I was feeling pretty confident, but at the same time I was kind of scared he would overtake me. Um, yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Yeah, it was definitely a nail biter at the end for both of us in the booth. Haas, you got another question for him? He's done answering.
Uh, I don't have
Mr.
another
Anonymous.
question. I would just like to say congratulations, and you're welcome for me shutting my mouth the entire race. And I'll shut up now so you can talk.
He just said congrats, AJ, and he's happy he put his foot in his mouth so that you could get a win. So, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, I believe that's all from both myself and Haas. I mean, even if Haas had anything else, you guys can't hear him. So, for our top three finishers and Haas Mania, this has been BK. Thank you for joining us on the round 13 of the EU2 Championship. We have AM tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern and EU1 tomorrow at 9 p.m. UK time. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.